We go now to Sudan, where night protests are occurring 2 days after the military coup. Security forces are tightening their grip on demonstrators and activists, despite growing condemnation from international institutions. The African Union has suspended Sudan, and the World Bank has frozen its aid. Well, covering this for us on the ground in the capital Khartoum is our correspondent Bastien Renouil. Bastien, what's going on in the streets tonight?
Well, people are still demonstrating and the armed forces are still being very violent. I've just talked to witnesses in the city of Omdurman. It's a city neighboring Khartoum. And there is an ongoing demonstration there, and people say that the Rapid Support Forces, which is a branch of the military, are shooting live bullets at demonstrators. So we don't know yet if people have been injured or if other people have been killed, but it's highly possible since during the past days, the armed forces have been very violent. On Monday only, they killed 7 people and injured more than 140. So there are high risk of the situation turning very badly in Omdurman. In the rest of Khartoum and Sudan, people have been demonstrating all day peacefully everywhere in the country, whether it was in Darfur, in the north of Sudan, or here in Khartoum. They are building barricades, they are singing songs, asking the military to step back. They are saying that they want their civilian government to be back, and they say that they will stay in the street until their demands are met. They are planning a huge demonstration on Saturday and say that they are expecting 1 million people to take to the streets.
And we talked about security forces cracking down on demonstrators. There's also been a series of recent arrests. Tell us about those.
Yes, a lot of politicians and civil society leaders have been arrested. I talked to civil society actors, like some activists today, and they say that they are very afraid of being arrested as well. And this comes as we just learned from the Office of the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, some news from 2 members of the government and from the Sovereign Council that were arrested on Monday. We know that they have been tortured, according to the cabinet minister. He said that they are now in a military hospital in the city of Omdurman. So it's a very bad signal for the people here demonstrating. It's a very bad signal for the international community. People have been asking for the release of the politicians, for the release of the civil society leaders. So it seems that the General Brown brought back Prime Minister Hamdok to his place in order to ease the tensions here in the street and to ease the tensions with the international community. Well, after these revelations, it seems that it will not help at all.
Speaking of the international community, the African Union has suspended Sudan. The World Bank has frozen its aid. That's going to be a major blow to the economy, isn't it? How are residents grappling with an economy that's already in crisis, that's surely to become worse?
Yeah, the situation is very bad here in terms of economy. People are struggling every day to get their food, to get petrol, to get gas. The inflation is skyrocketing. It was 120% in July. That's a very high number, and so they're struggling to achieve their basic needs. So this help from the World Bank, from the United States, that were committed to give $700 million to Sudan, is very much needed. So the international community, the international institution believe that all this will help to bring back the civilian government to power and to make General Brown respect what he said, to give back the power to the civilians at some point.